Fear is the enemy.
Baggy City Music Box.
Whatever it is that you're going for, man, go hard. And hold on, never give up. You gotta have that mentality, man. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. And that's word to my mom, word to my pops, word to my little bro. They said make your mistakes, but don't make excuses on why you can't live and learn. On a couple occasions I damn near went broke. I'm chasing this music thing, and I ran out of hope. I threw in the towel, said fuck the hole in the street. I kept on writing and touring. I picked up a job cause I knew it was important. The money I made, I would stash it away just to fund my recordings. And I didn't wanna stop cause I didn't know how. I would lay in my room by myself late at night and I finally figured it out. I just wanna be the best version of me, make all the music that I wanna make. I don't care what nobody gon' say. You miss all of the shots you don't take. And the answer is no, if you don't ask. If it gets hard, this too shall pass. God is my witness and he got the plan. He got the plan. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. Yeah. Remember, man, you only in competition with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Pleasure and pain. R.I.P. the greatest. 0824.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. What's going down, y'all? It is Saturday. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. All right, I'm on. All right, so welcome, guys. It is time for some circle talk. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support and be a part of this journey that I've been on. A good 2.5 years. It's been an amazing ride, and it has been some bumps as well, but I love every opportunity I get to learn something new about someone new in this world as I continue this journey. So first off, I want to just thank all my sponsors for continuing to be a part of what we have going on here in the circle. First off, big shout out to iShotto.com. Thank you so much, Marvin Patterson, for continuing to be a big asset to what I do. If anybody is locally in Washington looking for someone to do some pictures for you, whether they're headshots, family portraits, anything, senior portraits, anything that has to do with photography, videography, Marvin Patterson is the guy you want to get in contact with. He will get you done right. All you have to do is let him know I sent you, and he'll get you a nice deal. So thank you again, Marvin. Second, Icon ENT. Shout out to my guy, Willie Jr. Thomas. This man has been in the game for a very, very long time. He has been doing shows, events, the all black party, the all white party. He's been doing Thanksgiving parties. Anyone looking for someone to get your party on, Willie will be that guy. Also, if you guys are going to any type of events, whether it's a basketball, football game, prom, any events where you don't necessarily want to drive and you want to get there in style, hit up my guy Willie Jr. Thomas. He is in charge of the Party Bus Extravaganza. All you have to do is have a minimum of 10 people to ride with you, and you can get in there and get it on. He has TVs in it in his buses. He has, little fridges for those that like to get lit before they get to the event. And you ain't got to drive at all. All you got to do is pay him, and he'll get you there and get you home safely. All right, hit up Willie Jr. Thomas for the Party Bus Extravaganza. Tell him I sent you, he'll get you a nice discount. The Chaya Fashion. Thank you so much, Zakia, for continuing to do amazing work in our community. If you guys have not been to any of her events, she gathers local talented people that are creating items, whether it's, candles, clothing, any type of trinkets that you are in need of using in your homes or in your cars or wherever it is that you're into. If you have something that you have created, she will give you a place to put that particular thing into action so people can support you. She's been putting together potlucks, setups all over the Washington area. She's in Seattle one day, then she's in Tacoma the next, and then she's in Lakewood the next. She is extremely busy and doing it very well. She's about the people. So make sure you guys hit up thechayafashion.com if you guys want to hear about what she has going on and when the next event is coming up with her involved in it. So thank you again, Zakia. Last but not least, Intentions Juice and Smoothies Bar. Thank you so much, Marquita Evans, for being such an amazing asset to our community. This woman has been doing so many amazing things. If you guys have not been to one of her events, you have to check her out. She is the one that has kind of put together the whole Poetry and Intentions extravaganza. It's the place to be, usually every third Wednesday of the month. And matter of fact, Lennee Reid, our guest today, I met her at this actual event a few months ago. So make sure you guys tune in to Intentions Juice and Smoothies Bar. Catch it. Go over there and get yourself a drink on 56 and South Tacoma Way. They also have two more stores that are opening up. One in Seattle and then one, I think, is in Tukwila. But she's doing amazing work. Make sure you guys tune in and follow all of these guys and watch them continue to grow and be amazing people in our community. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our guest for today. Like I said, Miss Lennee Reid, she is such a very, very intelligent person. The first time I met her, she was on stage doing her thing and talking a little bit about hummingbirds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for her so she can explain to you a little bit about herself and what she's all about. There's a lot, and I'm excited to bring her to you guys as TVs, screens, wherever you're at. All right, so welcome, Lennee Reid.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, David. Yes, it was lovely meeting you at Intentions Juice Bar. It's a lovely space and a lovely event. Everybody should check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling today, Madame?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's a lovely day. The hummingbirds are flying outside.
Yes. You know, I gotta tell you something though. The reason why I wanted to bring that one up is because I was sitting at home today. I woke up this morning and my girlfriend was asking me about our guest today, and I was like, well, she's an amazing person. I promise you, if you hear some of her stuff, you are going to fall in love. And so I played the Hummingbird passage off of Bandcamp. And we sat there and listened to it, and she was extremely impressed with it. And so she's like, let me hear another one. And so we started to just go down the line and just listen to all of the passages that you had online. And so she is very impressed with you. She's actually not here. She actually just walked out the door to go to work, but Yeah, man. Tell them a little bit about the hummingbird one, because that one for me, that one is definitely one that I really enjoy listening to every time I listen to it.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. The hummingbird piece, it's very, very important to me too. I chewed up that piece in my head for so long because I knew I was a hummingbird and that was normal for me
Yeah.
in my neurodiversity, but then how to relate that to different types of birds and different types of people. So yeah, the hummingbird piece, I'm an average hummingbird. It starts out talking about how everybody's like a duck, which is society, neurotypical, average society, and all the things that people think are supposed to be average and normal that they expect from everyone. And
Right.
so people are ducks. Everybody knows what ducks are about. But there's lots of birds that cannot do things that ducks do, like hummingbirds that don't swim, they don't waddle. There's ostriches that don't fly and they run. And then within birds, you're not judging each other by, oh, well, you should raise your eggs on your feet like a penguin, or oh, you should do this
Yeah.
that way, because everybody is their own person. Now, for me personally, with my neurodiversity, it's difficult because normally I talk really, really fast, and it should be that fast. And I'm really excited about something, almost like a kid that's really excited. And people are, they're like, slow down, honey.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people said that to me as a kid. You know what I mean? You got to slow down, honey. So
Yeah.
it's not that I'm angry or manic or pushy or whatever. So I have to slow down and fly like a duck when I want to go foo, 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 all over the place. Same thing with food. Birds eat different things. Some eat meat, some eat fruit. I was at a picnic one time there was this old seagull and coming around. People were trying to give it
Yeah.
fruit and it wasn't eating. I'm like, somebody give that bird some chicken. It don't eat fruit. And
Yeah.
so, but we are always trying to get people to be vegan or tell people they eat meat or all these things back. And people just need different things, you
Right.
know? So
Right.
yeah, average hummingbird, very close to me to explain neurodiversity to people, because I see people with mixed neurodivergent families where the parents are neurotypical and the kids are neurodiverse and just different things. And you're trying to make people be how you want them to be.
Mm.
You got to stop doing that. You got to meet people where they are, accept them how they are. I mean, people got to grow. Everybody has to learn how to fly or walk or swim or whatever they're made to do. But you
Yeah.
can't go around telling people, yeah, what they got to be. So yeah, I'm just an average hummingbird. I talk too fast. Sometimes when I'm stressed out, I stim, and
Yeah.
people make fun of stims or say that autistic person doing whatever. And I might be high functioning enough that I can control myself and mask and ask a certain way. But really, I want to be talking like this because I'm really excited. Oh, I'm so glad to be on the show. And that's not normal. That's not
Yeah.
normal when you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can, and you need to accept people where they're at and in their growth and how they're going forward. Neurodiversity is and autism is affecting people, everywhere. And if you don't have people that are neurodiverse in your family, you work with them. We are everywhere. And so you got to learn to expect and respect people to be how they are. Mhm.
So I also remember the autism piece as well. Autistic is what you said, right?
Mhm.
The autistic piece. Um, can you kind of explain that one to the people as well? Because um, neurodivergent, um, what is the definition for that? For those that may not know what it means,
Well,
can
I
you?
mean, I can only say from my opinion, because I'm not a medical professional. My degree is in massage therapy. I'm not a psychologist, but I identify as high functioning autism. People don't call it Asperger's anymore because that's considered a Nazi term. But where it came from was was Nazis apparently trying to split different types of autism. So some people identify as Asperger's. I don't anymore, but I got to the autism community through Everyday Asperger's, Samantha Kraft, years ago, like a long time ago, before it became that type of thing. So, yeah, there's a spectrum of autism, and a lot of times people just think it's someone who's slow or can't do things and all
Right.
this other types of stuff. But some
Right.
people are very specific at what they can and can't do. For instance, as a kid, I was gifted, but then in school, you can have all kinds of social problems, and that's also autism. People will think that that people are just going to catch on and they'll get it. And autistic people need things written out because they really aren't picking it up and aren't getting it. People that are high functioning or have Asperger's, things like that. So
Mm.
there's a whole spectrum of autism. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I can't I can't
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
have high functioning like me, where me was kind of missed in school, and then you'll be diagnosed with everything. Oh, you're anxious. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you're bipolar. You're all this stuff. When the person is autistic and being overstimulated or having meltdowns, it's not the same thing. An autistic kid having a meltdown over something that they're overstimulated with is is not just acting out or being bad. It's that they are uncomfortable. It's that you're putting a hummingbird into a swimming pool. And so they're freaking out. And you think, well, you should be able to swim. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So the best way that I could explain it is with my poem. I'm not a psychologist, but people just have different types, and everybody's not an extrovert that wants to be touched and be loud and be there and be present. Some people are scared and introverted and don't, and this doesn't feel good, and pushing them and encouraging them won't make them feel better. It's upsetting to them. And it's the same with lots of things. I can talk more about the experience of it than the medical side of it. There's things with food and socializing and overstimulation. All of those are neurodiversity. And because the society's baseline is that people eat and do and can do these things. And so that's what you can expect of a neurotypical person. But neurodiverse people are everywhere. Most people are familiar more with ADHD than autism, but that's a spectrum too. So I would probably identify as ADHD, which is autism and ADHD. But there's just a whole spectrum of everything. And then really, I mean, the issue in the Black community, people of color community, is that we get misdiagnosed or lost because they'll just say you have an attitude or you're bipolar, when it's literally something entirely different. So people should really, people should look into it so they can get the support that they need.
So let me is it okay if we rewind it back a little bit? Tell me about just growing up. How was being a kid, family life? When did all of this start to kind of come into fruition? When you finally kind of realized, or when your mom or dad or family realized, okay, well, my child is special? And
I mean, that's just it. It goes two different directions. I was identified as gifted very young, at like 7 years old. So, and then from about then till when I became a teenager, my mom would say things like, "Oh, you're not crazy. You're like what happens when someone's too smart." And so, like, Sheldon Cooper is really the only TV character that I identify with in that kind of weird way. And it's hard because I realize that people think he's funny for the reasons I identify with him with. Or that it's something you make fun of. Sheldon, but I understand understanding a fact and not getting why people don't understand or identify with the fact, and then they're doing some silly social thing when they're ignoring the fact. It drives me nuts. But that's neurotypical, is that, well, everybody's agreed to do this, and so the facts don't matter. And it's just like, when you're focused on the science or, something else. So it's a lot. So that was identified, but what was not identified was me being twice exceptional. So I had a horrible time in school. This is really hard for me to talk about socially, because I was getting picked on and ostracized. And I think the people that really know who autistic and Asperger's kids are really other kids, because they know to be mean to them and pick on them and ostracize them. So, I don't know. But I realized it was autism. In my late 30s. I had been diagnosed as bipolar, and I was having migraines and all kinds of other physical problems that are Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility, which is common in the autism community also. And so there's just a lot of things. I've always been interested in health and healing and trying to get better from traumas when I was younger. And so it all came together. Like I said, on Samantha Kraft's website, Everyday Asperger's, it was a female Asperger's site where it was all this list of things. And it was like 95% of it I all identified with. And I'm like, yes, this is it. I knew that what it wasn't just bipolar, because I had met people that were bipolar. And then it comes back around to, it's rude and not good social skills, or if you say to someone that you don't understand me because I'm smarter than you. Which goes back to like Sheldon Cooper's type stuff. So then you have to learn the social skills to be present where you are, to not and those things have to actively be learned by people who are gifted. And most of the, a lot of people, if you're a white man, they just cater to you. It's never a problem. You don't get diagnosed and you end up an engineer or a mathematician or something. But when you're a woman of color, it's just like, oh, well, she's got problems and that, all kinds of things. When now I've learned how to manage it, to manage my environment and my diet and overstimulation, to advocate for myself, to say, I can't do this, I can't do that. Maybe you can push yourself and push through, and you're like, it's okay. No, I will cry and turn into a 4-year-old if I push myself, because I'm overstimulated.
Yeah.
And there's no pushing through when you're autistic. And then you have a meltdown, and people say, "Oh, you're having a meltdown," and it's like, no, I shouldn't be doing this at all. Is the problem,
Yeah.
because I'm a duck. I'm a hummingbird, not a duck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will ramble on. I'm sorry. And
No,
people
you're
with Asperger's
fine.
do that. If you ask me a question, I might as well have a class. Let me tell you all about it. And that's that Sheldon Cooper high functioning Asperger's kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love the show Big Bang. I love the show. It's over now, Big Bang Theory, because everybody on the show is neurodiverse except Penny. She's the normal one. And
Yeah.
really, that's the way that you can look at it is, yeah, it's easier to see things as quirkiness than it is to explain everything as autism, to the normal person. But yeah.
So let's
It was a journey for me, finding autism and going through mental health and healing and all that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
When and when I usually do these things, I really try and highlight stuff that I think would be beneficial to obviously young people first, and people like myself that may not know exactly what some of these terms that you are using mean. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they're familiar to me, but they
yeah,
aren't to other people. And I think it's
exactly.
very important for people in diverse communities to educate themselves about this, because they will be misdiagnosed and told they have a problem or attitude, or they're bipolar or schizophrenic, especially if you're smart.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, we have to learn to advocate for ourselves and learn on our own. So it's very important to learn about neurodiversity, because it definitely affects someone in your family or someone you
yeah,
work with, or maybe even you, and you might not, but always
yeah,
thought you were different or weird or didn't understand, and you knew it, but you didn't know why. And
yeah.
yeah, it was a journey for me to find out. So yeah, I encourage people to look into it. It helps you learn about yourself. A lot of
Hmm.
people aren't introspective and don't want to know about themselves. So I mean,
Right,
there's all
right.
types of things in psychology and mental health and mental illness to deal
Oh,
with.
we could go on and on and on about mental health. I mean, obviously,
Right.
it's something that is, always kind of been pushed to the side. I mean, we obviously went into a conversation about it when we did our mental health check, not
Yeah.
last month, but the month before last. Just how, people just haven't found the right methods to dealing with it. And so they, you know, a lot of times they, medicate,
Yeah.
medicate with all kinds of things like, drinking or, drugs or all the wrong ways of dealing with their situations.
Mhm.
When, just find something that you truly love. Like for example, when it comes to, because you're an amazing author, amazing
Thank
person,
you.
when you're on stage, the attitude that you have, it it works. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can change their demeanor depending
And that's a
on
mask, though. That's also autistic masking.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing. Some great, performers and actors are neurodiverse, and it's because they're good at masking and switching between different things. But yeah, thank you very much for that compliment. I appreciate that. Poetry
but
has been very healing for me. It's been
right,
very
right.
healing for me. Writing and being verbal. I'm hyperverbal, and I can't do math to save my life. You could offer me $10
Really?
million to do some algebraic equation, and I would say sorry, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm really verbal, and poetry has really healed me and helped me process. So yeah, I definitely recommend it, or just whatever it is that you process.
Yeah.
Some people are more physical, or like to paint, or whatever it is you like to do that helps you. Some
Absolutely.
people run to meditate. Whatever your thing is, you should find it, because everybody definitely has a thing. I think a lot of times
Absolutely.
people are lonely or dealing with their mental stresses or family or work stresses, but you got to find something to help you get through.
Absolutely.
You do.
So when did you first figure out that this was something that you were truly amazing at and you absolutely loved it? When did
Oh
you
wow, you're asking me hard questions that are actually
you
indirect.
know I'm I'm
So,
sorry.
so it's okay, but in all honesty, my grandma died. My grandma died, and it just felt like her spirit was coming through to me over this other side, and all these poems came through me. What made me a poet was this poem called One, that I've done everywhere, women's marches and all our different types of places. Because when I wrote it, I said, this isn't even for me, it's for me to read to other people. And
Mhm.
a line from that poem is, like when truth in the center of all the spokes in a wheel, surrounded in hope and love, I honestly see we are one.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so I did that poem everywhere. I did that at the first Women's March. I closed that march and everybody's screaming, "We are one." And in the poem, it lists different types of people, different types of religions, and all kinds of things bringing stuff together. And so that continued my path. I've been a healer. My grandpa was the Baptist preacher. My grandma was the choir director. And so when she passed, I think it was almost like an homage to her spirit and to going forward and healing. But being a healer and mixing all different types of things, I had studied spirituality and theology from all over the world. So the Oneness poem came out, more poems about spirit and soul that was in a timeless, universal kind of manner. Then I got more into feminism, goddess consciousness, learning that Jews had a queen of heaven, that women used to worship Asherah. Like, people don't know this. I was raised in the Baptist church. Okay, people don't know this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so just feminism and goddess consciousness and honoring women, all of those things, it's just sent me down this path of healing and awareness, to the new book, Aware Nigh. And yeah, just trying to bring everything together. But my grandma was the catalyst, her death and that poem and just the grief. And it can be that way. Sometimes there's a life event that triggers things for people. But yeah, she had a book, I think she never got published. And so now I have 3. And so really there, yeah, it's from my grandma.
So
Try to not cry.
that's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great. I really do appreciate you for, sharing your story with us. Let's talk about the new book.
Yeah.
Aware Nigh. Tell us a little bit about what we are going to expect when we get into your book.
Oh, let's see what's written on here from my publisher. This was beautiful. The poems in this collection are imbued with an energy and awareness of the divinity found in all of us. Reid's poems leap off the page and demand to be sung, shouted into the void, in order to dispel those forces gathered all around us that fill our hearts with hate, bigotry, and misogyny. These poems are an invocation, a spell, a talisman.
Okay.
And then there's a definition on here, the beginning of it. It says Aware Nigh. Syncretic consciousness, universal spiritual and psychological theory, multi-dimensional code switching, or what I call it, awareness pie. So just like with circle talk, everybody's in the circle, right? So it's not just my awareness or your or ours. It's the entirety of humanity's consciousness, and how to honor and look at that and how it can help you and you can be a part of it, and just being aligned with life. Yeah.
So I had a question that I had put out to the viewers. I don't even know if you've seen it. You probably missed it. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Oh, I see Terrence in there. Let me look at these.
What's up, T? What's up, T? But I posted a question, and I'm gonna ask, what do you want people to remember about Lennee Reid when she leaves?
Oh, just that I spoke up for what was right. Yeah. That's really all. I feel like there's so many things in society and how we were raised. I mean, yeah, I remember being in the church. My grandma and grandpa's church was very, hardcore Southern Baptist, and women weren't supposed to speak in the church. But my grandma was the most saved person in that church, and always talking about spirit and trying to relate things between Jesus and God and stuff. But really, there's something that goes beyond religion that is spirit. Maybe New Age people call it Reiki, people call it Holy Spirit, energy, all that kind of stuff. And so really, I just try to connect to spirit that is beyond whatever religion that you are. Yeah, and just try to speak to that, speak to the trees, for the trees, speaking the power into women. Women are creators. Women give birth and life, and we just try to tell them that they shouldn't speak or that they aren't nothing or should go cook and do the dishes. That women have given birth to everything, So, so I try to speak to that, and then I do it really loudly and put my crown on and say I'm a queen. But I mean, really, I'm mostly crying in my RV, wishing I had somewhere You know, gosh, these are hard questions. I'm sorry. And I don't mask well or control my emotions. That's another
You're fine.
autism thing. People will say, I'll go home and cry later. And I'm like, I don't have that filter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really just try to connect to spirit and speak up for what's right. And sometimes that's a counterbalance to patriarchy and all these other things. People need to free their own soul. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of healing that it ain't gonna come from a doctor or a preacher or any book. It comes from inside yourself. And so
Absolutely.
if people see me
Absolutely.
speaking up, I want them to think they can speak up. If I say, I can heal and do Reiki and be magical and all those things, so can you. You find it in yourself. And sometimes
Absolutely.
it's not literal magic, it's a metaphor, but you see how the meditation and the introspection, all that, how it changes you. When you
Mhm.
see you're a part of nature and then you start growing a vegetable or your own garlic or even something easy, it changes you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just want
Mhm.
people to think that I
Yeah.
spoke up and tried to connect to nature.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that answer. I mean, it's really what we all should be about is, speak up and
Yeah.
share your truth and don't be afraid of what other people think, and hopefully what you're saying is true and valid and will change lives along the way, because really,
Mhm.
you want to save people, you don't want to hurt people here. So
Right.
keep doing what you're doing. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So let's talk about what's coming up next. How can we see you on stage? Here's some of you live. Where's the next place you're going to be at where we can
There
check you
will
out?
be lots of places
Yeah,
coming up in the next month. I will be at Everett Poetry Night. I will be in Portland at Portland Poetry Slam and Slamlandia. And the
nice.
main event I'm doing every year, I do a solstice event. And this year it's a Where Night Culture Gathering. That
Mhm.
is Saturday, June 24th and Sunday, June 25th at Seven Gables on West Bay Drive in Olympia, Washington. And you
Nice.
can find that info online on Facebook, on Eventbrite. But I have all kinds of people um, scheduled to perform. Marvelous Mar will be there performing. Robert
Hey,
Lashley's coming from Bellingham. We got Michael Jones as a rapper. We have Belladonna Laveau, the head of the Wiccan Seminary. She's coming down to speak. It's all different kinds of people. We'll have sound baths. We'll have yoga on Sunday. We'll have poetry and
yeah,
DJ and workshops. And I just do all of the Creole intercultural everything. And there's still room for people to vend and participate. So if you want to contact me and you are to speak on anything, that's great. I feel like spiritually, as a pagan, during solstice, you are supposed to manifest the height of energy. It's the height of
mhm,
energy. So what do you want to do? What do you want to put into the world? And
right,
so that's what I do on solstice Sabbath is I invite a diverse of people. We're going to do a spiral dance. We're going to do a snake dance. One is pagan, one is native. And yeah, because I'm Creole. And so
yeah,
all these different things really is me trying to figure out how to be my
yeah,
mixed self.
yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm black, but then you look at me and black people go, "Are you Hawaiian?" And and Mexican people, they think I'm Mexican for sure. And I'm like, "Yo hablo muy pequeño español, señorita, not Mexican, but I love you,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
love
yeah,
everybody because if I'm
yeah,
not them, I look like them."
yeah, yeah. That's
So yeah,
amazing.
and I feel like all these different communities, they have their days. You got Juneteenth, you got Cinco de Mayo, we just
Yeah,
had Polynesian, all this stuff. And that's great. That's beautiful. But what
right.
about us all coming together and taking turns and being like, oh, here's my Jewish witch friend, and here's my black friend, and here's my white pagan friend. And
Yeah,
that's because that's me. And so really for me to love me, I gotta put on this event. I gotta do this because otherwise I feel split, like I gotta pick sides. And that's what everybody neurotypicals want you to do. But I want to bring everybody together. So definitely come to Aware Night Culture Gathering, and then connect with me online. I'll be all
yeah.
over. I'll be all
Absolutely.
over. Yeah.
And I'll make sure for anyone that is watching or is going to catch this at a later date, we'll make sure to post the information in the chats for you guys to, get involved, go and connect, get in contact with her. Obviously, support what she's doing. Obviously, the new book is out, and we're nigh. And I got a question for you. And I obviously I got lots of questions, but is it possible? Do you mind sharing a piece for us while we're still
Sure.
online?
Did you want me to do Hummingbird or you want me to do something else?
You know what? I you know me, I personally I really love the piece where you talk about
Yeah,
autism.
that's
It's
an average hummingbird. Let's see
That's the
here.
one.
Here we go. They say if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, waddles, flies in flocks, and swims like a duck, if it eats algae, migrates with the seasons, and water rolls off its back like a duck, it's a duck. And I guess that's often true. There's nothing wrong with ducks. They come in a variety of beautiful colors and sizes from all over the world. They are quite common and often eaten. Penguins walk, waddle, swim, dive deep, hunt, and eat meat. Honk like penguins, huddle with eggs on their feet like a penguin, thrive through harsh winters, and although a bird, never ever fly like a penguin. Penguins are pretty cool because they are unique, if you ask me. They come in a variety of colors and sizes and can be found outside their usual Antarctic environment. Penguins are great at adapting. They're rare to see in the wild and never eaten, though I've heard they taste like fish. Ostriches walk, run, love heat, and are very misunderstood. Did you know ostriches can swim and they don't hide their heads in the sand? They build their nests there, though, so it looks like they do. Known mostly for not flying and laying huge eggs, they are the biggest, fastest running birds. They come in muted colors and stay in specific environments where it's warm. Some people eat them or their eggs, but it's not common to eat them. I couldn't find one if I wanted to. Hummingbirds hover, fly backwards and sideways. The smallest bird with shimmering, colorful feathers. They build tiny, delicate nests and eat mostly nectar. They are very sensitive and polite, giving each other room to breathe as feeders hung on the back porches of some of the nicest people. They are a beautiful sight to see. No one ever eats hummingbirds. In fact, they were once worn as jewelry. Neurotypical people are like ducks. They walk, talk, act, socialize, and eat like ducks. There is nothing wrong with being a duck. There is a problem when we expect penguins, ostriches, and hummingbirds to act like a duck when they can't and shouldn't. That would be ridiculous, right? Ducks don't go around telling penguins, ostriches, and hummingbirds they need to eat algae and quack. Penguins don't harass ostriches and tell them they should raise their eggs on their feet. Ostriches do not tell hummingbirds they should run more. No one makes fun of the hummingbird for hovering, flying backwards and sideways, and the hummingbirds do not think anyone has a deficit for not being able to hover and fly backwards, because only hummingbirds do that. I am a hummingbird. My wing speed is magnificent. I do not quack, waddle, eat algae, or fish. Stop telling me to quit flying backwards and sideways just because you can't. Stop telling me I'm flapping my wings and talking too fast. I dress and act this way because my mind sparkles and shimmers. I'm beautiful how I am. I am beautiful how I am. I eat this way because nectar is great for me. I don't shove nectar down anyone's throat or judge them for eating algae. The world is supposed to be beautiful and diverse. So if you are a penguin and can't fly, an ostrich, everyone thinks has their head in the sand when you are actually doing very important groundbreaking work. A hummingbird like me, or a basic average neurotypical duck, you are okay. You are exceptional. Dive, run, be groundbreaking, fly backwards and sideways while shimmering. You are normal. You're exceptional, just like me. I am just an average run-of-the-mill hummingbird. Here we go.
I love it. Love it. I
Yes,
forgot it.
Rebecca Lynn, the world is supposed to be beautiful and diverse. Yeah, everybody's trying to fit everybody into a peg or a box, and we really need to be encouraging people to do what they can do. One of my favorite lines is this is saying, did you know? Because people make fun of autistic people for doing that. You
Mhm.
know, they do. And autistic people that like information, are interested in devouring it all the time. And I'll be like, no, I didn't know that. Where'd you hear that from? And other people are like, don't nobody care about your penguin. Do you know? So it's like, maybe your group of people doesn't. Maybe we got to find that kid in your group needs to be directed, to ostriches. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's a
Mhm.
lot of people, you make fun of them because they're always doing something over there. What are you doing over there? Why don't you come over here with us when they're doing something important? They're just
Yeah.
not a duck. Yeah, it
Yeah.
applies to other things. I don't have a degree in psychology, but that right there, that puts all of autism. Penguins would be considered a low functioning duck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
they can't fly, they don't hardly float. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just you gotta meet people where they are. And I think we're always trying to judge people and make them be something they're not or they can't
Right.
be, and you just got to put them in the right place. Because I tell you, if I'm in the wrong place, I'm a mess. You can't shove a hummingbird even with ducks; they'll get trampled. You know.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I appreciate you for sharing that. I Rebecca came on. That's one of my best buddies. She came on a little late, but I'm glad that she got to, hear you speak. If you would like to follow her, how can they get in contact with you? How can
I'm
they find you on
everywhere. I'm on TikTok as the Queen Mystic. I make some fun TikToks.
Facebook?
I'm on have fun with TikTok. I am on IG and Facebook, Lennee Reid. I'm on most platforms. My Bandcamp is lenneereid.bandcamp.com, but my poetry is on most streaming services now. I finally got distribution, so follow
Nice.
me or find me anywhere. You can listen to my poetry. I have the books out, but honestly, most of them are spoken word pieces. I mean, they're
Right.
they're written to be read, so yeah, to be
Mhm.
spoken. So yeah, listen to my work and follow me and my events.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I love hearing your take on it. I mean, because I could read it, which I would love to have the book right here for me to read.
Mm,
But when I went to the band camp and I just listened to you, like it gives you a certain feel, you know what I'm saying? Like you tell it better than anybody because it's you, it's your piece, you
yeah,
created it. And so either way it's fine, but I would definitely be okay with listening to you speak
thank
all day.
you, thank you.
Good stuff. It's amazing. So again, guys, if you guys have any questions for Lennee Reid, we still got her here for a few more minutes.
Yeah,
I have heard her read this time I saw her live. She said she heard you read it live too, and she loved it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I
so
love reading this. I love reading that poem live. Yeah, it was on my heart for a very long time because I knew I
mhm.
was a hummingbird, and people talk about spirit animals or your power animal or different things like that, and
Yeah.
I know people of different cultural backgrounds have a different take on it, but I had a hummingbird make a nest on my witchcraft hung in front of the front door. So I love hoodoo and root work, right? My family's from Mississippi, and
Okay.
I mean they weren't into hoodoo, but I've gone to my roots and learned about it. And so there's this spell where you get some rose bushes and you
Mhm.
cross them and you hang them and put them in front of your doors because it keeps anger out, right? And
Mhm.
so I hung them up and tied them on these different hooks that my plants were hanging on, and a hummingbird made its nest on my witchcraft for keeping anger out of my house. And so I got to take pictures of it. And so I'm just like, hummingbird is my spirit animal. Okay. I'm only
Yeah.
like 1 or 3% Choctaw, but hummingbird is my spirit animal because
Yeah.
I do it's because you can flip from one thing and go backwards and sideways and all these different things. And I'm kind of delicate in some ways, but I'm tough
Yeah.
and can do things other people can't in other ways. So yeah, they
Right.
really feel like the high functioning autistic bird to me. you know, it's like, well, the birds who fly backwards and sideways, everybody else is a bird, but they're the only one that can. But there's so many things regular birds can do that I can't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about this witchcraft. I mean, because I actually was gonna say something about I kind of I dove into
It's
uh,
okay.
to you a little bit more
Mhm.
when it came to your story and how you came up with these pieces, where it all started for you, and talking about your grandma and stuff,
Mhm.
and um, witchcraft. Like you said your grandparents were more
Oh, yeah,
Baptist,
Southern Baptist
Baptist,
minister. Mhm.
which I identify as Baptist as well.
Mhm.
Um, but I also noticed a few pictures that I posted on your video where you were standing or you were sitting in front of these. I think they were candles. Were they candles?
Oh, no, the singing bowls. Yeah, I perform sound bath. Those are crystal singing
Okay.
bowls.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. My
well,
degree is in massage therapy, so I've gotten into sound healing,
yeah.
and I do poems with the singing bowls. I have one poem
Okay.
about building community, and it mentions wind chimes and fairies being born under them on the new moon. And then so I play the singing bowls that sound like wind chimes. And but yeah, no, singing bowls are great. They're very healing, and they kind of make you feel your energy even if you're not into it. So I think they're great for getting very grounded, unspiritual people to actually feel their energy blockages in a tangible, third dimensional kind of way.
Wow.
Yeah, the singing bowls are great. But witchcraft, yeah, no, when my grandma passed, I think I didn't have nobody to judge me anymore. And
so you
I
just
wasn't
let
trying to
loose.
make her
I'm gonna
happy.
be who I want to be
No,
now.
you know, real talk, I'm a huge geek. I've read the Bible in its entirety, cover to cover, 3 times, 3 different versions, and then I read other holy books. And then it began to not be my favorite anymore. The Dhammapada is my favorite. It's 500 years older than the Bible, and it says the same things in Cliff Notes that Jesus and Buddha said the same thing. So, and then I read, all the way back to the oldest text, Enheduanna, that wrote for the Temple of Inanna. And Inanna is a companion goddess to Asherah, which was the queen of heaven that Jews worshipped. So I just kept reading and kept getting into it. And then so recently I got my DNA done and found out my white side of the family that thought that they were German and English, actually genetically it was all Scots-Irish women. So I'm like 54% Scots-Irish and like 40 something percent West African. And the rest of it is like Choctaw and Asian stuff. I didn't even know. It's either Creole, Asian stuff, or from a long time ago, or it's just all Native American. It comes up as different things. But so I mean, I looked at my mom. I'm like, y'all are colonized. You are not English. You're not German. There was one German guy. There was one English guy years ago, and all the women they were colonized Scots-Irish women. So then I started looking into Scotch-Irish stuff because they were colonized too. And so yeah, looking at all of it. According to modern religion, if you're not saved or following an Abrahamic religion, then you're a pagan. And so to me, I'm like, everything out there is beautiful. And if you take your own power and you really, it's the same thing with different words. You know, if I'm meditating or praying, if I use if you make like a jar spell, you're just putting in that jar things that represent what you want to put in there. Old spells, old easy spells are sweetened in jars. You get a jar of sugar, you put your lover's name in it and a rose petal. I mean, it's just really not different. You know, and people think, oh, it's witchcraft. You're eating babies and killing goats. No, that's just as stupid, as ignorant as white people think Black people had a tail back in the day. People need to stop being ignorant about things that are really their ancestors. You know, all these white people that think they're Christian, you're a Christian, that's fine, but you're colonized. And a lot of people here were from the Irish potato famine, you know, years ago. We won't argue about the slavery and stuff with that, but their houses were burnt down and they were starved, okay, and shipped off and treated like cattle too, you know. And so just looking at all the colonization, so much of that is still from Roman colonization, trying to make people Christian when they were connected to the earth, when they were connected to women, when they were connected to all these things that are good and lovely, and all these water, earth, and air and fire make us. And when we get disconnected from it, that's when we put money over water, money over people, all these other things. So to me, I feel like coming full circle, witchcraft is kind of anti-capitalist. It's really honoring our ancestors. I think we've forgotten about our ancestors. And when you do that, you know, you'll forget that the biggest voodoo festival in the world is still held in Benin. You know, those are our ancestors, you know, and we've forgotten them. So yeah, witchcraft to me is just a way to connect with myself, to connect with spirit, to connect with nature, especially. I really identify as a green witch. I garden and I grow most of the garlic that I eat, and I put garlic on everything. And so I just really feel connected. Yeah, connected
I like
to
a little
food.
garlic in my food as well.
Right. So I feel really connected to spirit through witchcraft and being a part of nature, because I am a part of nature, and then kind of directing the course of your own river, you know.
Interesting.
So anyway, I'll ramble about it. But yeah, I would just recommend that people don't look at it as something crazy or evil or any of the stuff, you know, whatever you're thinking, don't be bigoted now. You know what I'm saying? No. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just look into it. Hoodoo and root work and all those things. It was just how our ancestors connected with space, with place and space and spirit, you know, to direct what they want. Medicine is found in witchcraft. Almost any medicine you can find in Western culture can be found in nature and even outside your house.
Absolutely.
You know,
I heard.
absolutely.
Yes. So, really quick, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, we got probably like 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna call it a day. Thank you again so much, Lennee, for being here. I know we've been missing each other this week. I'm glad that we finally, caught up and got this thing done. And man, you're such an amazing person, and I love everything that you are doing, and I'm really excited to come in and check out what's going on. You said the 24th and the 25th
The
of June,
24th and the
right?
25th. Yes, Saturday the 24th from 11 to 10. It'll be a party. And then Sunday we'll have more of a slow down church vibe with yoga and sound bath and some. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. You should come and do a special show with Circle Talk there and interview some people about healing.
And I told you, if I say I'm gonna come through, I'll come through. So we'll kind of we'll have a conversation about it off the show and just kind of figure out exactly where you want me to slide in. And obviously, weekends is I'm a dad on the weekends. My son and my daughter are here. They're out playing to keep the noise level down in the house right now. But I'm absolutely game for coming and hanging out and interviewing people that you think would be a great asset, a great light for what I'm doing here at the Circle. And I would love to just share another moment with you and in the real world, live, not just online but live. So absolutely, definitely gonna check that out. So watch out for that, y'all. We gonna connect live. I'm gonna go live at the event, and y'all gonna see. We're gonna be.
We've got a couple questions here if we can get these before we sign off.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Star asked how long I've been writing. So I remember writing first in the 7th grade in Miss Tripp's English class in Nisqually Middle School. I loved poetry and I wrote additional ones there. But this iteration of me being a poet started in 2013. So I've been writing and performing solid for about a decade now. So
absolutely. Shout out to Star too. She's a writer as well. She has a room called the Poetry Corner. And I've actually recently been in there just circulating, writing a few things here and there and connecting with her. She's an amazing person. It would be great if y'all connected and, just had a conversation. She's a great person. So shout out to Star. Thank you so much for being here.
Rebecca Lynn here says, I'm reading the Bible right now. The Bible is still a great book and is used even in hoodoo and voodoo for bibliomancy. That is one piece of witchcraft Christians do all the time. That's divination, bibliomancy. So many things in religion used to be witchcraft. Do you know when they take the sacrament, the wafer and the wine, pagans do the same thing, except we go in a circle and we pass ale and cakes and we say, may you never hunger, may you never thirst.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never knew that. But I know all about the wafer and the wine.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So I wish for everybody to never hunger and never thirst, and that poetry will help fill the spiritual side of that, because sometimes you're hungry for something that may not be in the Bible. You got to look at poetry and look at what everybody else has been saying, because the Bible's full of poetry. Psalms is full of poetry. That was my favorite book, was Proverbs and Psalms. It didn't have nothing to do with Jesus or Abraham. It was the spirituality of it.
Absolutely.
So the Bible's great for bibliomancy and lots of things. It's still a very interesting book. Everybody should read all kinds of books. That's the main hook. Keep reading other culture books too.
Reading is educational. Remember, guys. So one more, I'm gonna ask you one more time, if you don't mind. Is it possible we could get one more poem from you while we have a few viewers, new viewers? Welcome as y'all come in. Thank you guys for being here. This is Miss Lennee Reid. She is a jack of all trades. I could go down the line, but man, she is a jack of all trades. Trust me. And you guys want to contact her, get in contact with her if you guys want to hear some spoken words, some poetry, some readings. She's about that life. She's got it going on. So is it okay if we hear one more thing before we get out of here?
I will read one. One is the poem that made me a poet. It really
Okay.
started me on this whole entire
Perfect.
journey to you. So here we
Thank
go.
you.
We do not need 10 commandments, just this one truth. There are no divisions, we are one. Mind, body, soul, life, planet, just one. So this is my plea, this is my cry. If you do not understand, I cannot tell you why. It is the ground under my feet and my eye in the skies. I
Mm.
am one. When you see your brothers and sisters and you say, hey, how you doing? Are you good? Remember, we are one. We all need something. Like the truth in the center of all the spokes in a wheel, surrounded in hope and love, I honestly see we are one. Black, white, brown, yellow, and red, gay, straight, queer, square, we are all eating from the same plate and sleeping in one bed. When we
Mm.
think of each other instead of fear, accept each other as one. When you see a sick puppy or a wolf pack on the attack, why stay back? Can't you see? We are in one condition and behave as one. Look at us and yourselves in the mirror because everything is one. There are no enemies in one. There are no fences, cells, prisons, or walls. They are a dream, an illusion, because we are one. I am one. You are one person with one
Mm.
perspective, born with one will and tongue at one time, from one mother, just one. If you seek the truth, then you are one. If we'd all love our enemies, well, I guess there would be none. Are you one? There are no enemies in one. Mind, body, soul, life, planet, just one. We are one, Christian, Muslim, Jew, animist, humanist, atheist, Hindu, Wiccan, pagan, the Zen Buddhist too. Agnostics are ahead of me here. Y'all know there might be one. And here it is because we are one seeking truth, wisdom, and honesty, understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness, praying, meditating, and debating. Who has the best answer? How to attain nirvana? Will I be accepted in heaven?
Mm.
Are we really separated by how we love people? What are we arguing about? Whatever it is, I am sure of this. The answer is we are one. Like one truth in the center of all the spokes in a wheel, surrounded in hope and love. I honestly see we are one. Preacher and sinner, one. Cops, robbers, judges, prisoners, one. Dealers, addicts, bloods, crips, hoes, and pimps, one. Soldier, general, president, pope, one. Kings, queens, and refugees, one. Oppressors and oppressed, one. Rich and homeless, one. In the ghetto, the mansion, the igloo, the shack, the teepee, the longhouse, wherever one may be at. Now I am my temple. Can't you see? Our greatest temple is we. You remember that from church? So
Yeah.
let us be at home as one.
So good. So amazing. I love
Right?
that.
Here's the church, here's the steeple. Open the doors and see all the people
Taking it back to the old school.
taking it back to the old school.
So
Yeah.
amazing. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing.
for
What's the
having
name?
me.
What's the name of that piece, by the way?
That's just one.
It's just one.
That's one. And it's in my book, Universal State of Mind. And it's
Yes,
on my poetry, probably the second coming of matriarchy album. I have
absolutely.
3 spoken word albums, the second coming of matriarchy, Crazy Thunder Medicine, and the new one, Aware Now. Everything's aware now. Awareness
Everything is
pie.
aware now.
Aware now.
Absolutely. So, guys, make sure you guys go and support. Like I said, she just told you guys she got 3 books out.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go and support her.
If you want
And
a reading, if you want some energy work done, if you want a sound bath,
yes, yes,
any of the magic, I'm healing magic I'm trying to bring into the world.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, thank you again. We're gonna go ahead and close up shop. If anybody is needing any information about Lennee Reid, you can hit me in my inbox. If I'll make sure that we post all the info that we had talked about today. Also, the event that's going on. She has plenty of events that you can come and see her if you're in town. A lot of viewers that I have are from out of town, but if you are in town, I will make sure all
Yeah.
those are posted as well, so
Or
you
book
guys
me
can.
in your town. Let me know
Yes,
about readings in other towns.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll come.
I don't know where Star's at, but I know Rebecca's out in Massachusetts, so it's
Oh,
um,
wow.
on the other side of the world. But
Well, get me a
hey,
feature at a college and I'll come see you.
hey, you know what it is, we like to travel, so let me know
Yeah.
when you want me to come through. But thank you guys so much for viewing. Thank you again, Lennee. We're gonna go ahead and close up. Next week, you guys, if you guys are available, next Monday, we're going to have our mental health check for the month of June. And we're going to focus on the seasons. Can seasons really mess with someone's mental psyche?
Ooh, they do mine. I got seasonal affective disorder so bad. This is my happy month.
Yeah,
May, June,
exactly.
July, August, the sun makes me happy.
Gemini season. Let's go. Geminis are in the building.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a good one next week. So on behalf of the circle, thank y'all for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Yay.